Ever wonder if that constant little health thing you're dealing with might have a surprisingly simple solution? Maybe right outside your door.
It's definitely something people are thinking more about.
Yeah. Well, today we're exploring that exact idea. We're doing a deep dive into Dr. Nicole Apelian's Forgotten Home Apothecary. 250 powerful remedies at your fingertips.
Ah, yes. It's quite the compendium. Dr. Apelian, well, her background is fascinating. She's an herbalist and a biologist.
Right.
Plus, she has all that experience with traditional living skills. It really adds, a lot of weight to what she says about nature's healing potential.
Exactly. And the core idea, the promise of the book, is that we can unlock all these natural remedies using plants we might see every day. So our mission today is to kind of distill the most valuable bits from this. Well, it's a treasure trove, really.
It is.
Think of this as your shortcut, your express route to understanding how you can tap into these natural resources and maybe feel a bit more self-sufficient health-wise.
250 remedies. That's a lot.
It is. We obviously can't cover every single one.
No, of course not.
But we want to give everyone the core understanding.
Exactly. Practical knowledge without, feeling totally overwhelmed by all the detail.
Okay, let's get into it then. The book doesn't just list plants straight off, does it? It builds a foundation first.
That's right. Yeah, she dedicates the first part to some really essential groundwork, foundational knowledge.
Like what specifically?
Well, a big one is plant identification. She really hammers this home.
Yeah.
Knowing exactly what plant you're dealing with is just non-negotiable. For safety, obviously, but also to make sure it'll actually, work.
Makes sense. I guess some plants look alike.
Very much so. She points out that some poisonous plants can actually look a lot like edible or medicinal ones, especially when they're young.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So you need to look at multiple features, not just, say, the leaf shape.
That's a really critical point. You definitely wouldn't want any mistakes there. She also talks about harvesting sustainably, right? That stood out to me.
Absolutely. And that feels really important, doesn't it? It's about responsibility.
Yeah.
Dr. Apelian really stresses respecting the plant ecosystems, making sure these resources stick around for the future. It's all about mindful harvesting. Take what you need, but let the plants recover.
Right. Think about the bigger picture.
Exactly.
And then she gets into actually using the plants. Preparations like infusions, decoctions, tinctures. It sounds a bit, I don't know, complex.
It can sound that way. Maybe it conjures up images of bubbling cauldrons.
A little bit.
But she breaks it down really clearly. An infusion, for example, it's basically just steeping the plant, like making tea. Hot water. Simple.
Okay, like chamomile tea.
Precisely. Then decoctions are for tougher parts. Think roots, bark. Those need to be simmered for a while to get the good stuff out.
Right, simmering, not just steeping.
And she covers tinctures, too. Those are usually alcohol extracts, quite concentrated.
Okay.
And topical things, too, like salves, which are sort of like herbal balms and poultices. Yeah, where you mash up the plant material and apply it directly to the skin.
Okay. So once you've got that foundation down, the book dives into the plants themselves, section by section.
Yes, that's the main chunk of the book. And these plant profiles are incredibly detailed.
So what's in a typical profile?
You get the whole picture, traditional uses, how it's been used for generations, then what modern science says about its properties.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. And crucially, very specific instructions on how to prepare it and how to use it.
Could you give us maybe an example or two, just to paint a picture? Maybe one common one and one less common.
Sure. Think about chamomile. Most people know it's calming, good for sleep tea.
Right.
So Dr. Apelian would cover those uses, maybe mention the active compounds like apigenin that research suggests are involved, and then give you clear step-by-step directions for making a proper chamomile infusion.
Okay, easy enough.
Then maybe something like plantains, that common plant often seen as a weed.
Yeah, I think I know the one. Broadleaves.
That's often the one. She highlights how amazing it is for soothing skin irritations, insect bites, even minor scrapes, things you might not expect from a weed.
So it connects the familiar stuff with things you might just walk past every day.
Exactly. It bridges that gap beautifully.
And you mentioned science, so it's not just folklore. It connects traditional knowledge with, like, actual research.
Precisely. It's not just grandma used this for that. Dr. Apelian often explains the why. She'll reference active compounds, maybe talk about their mechanisms of action based on studies.
Like how?
Well, for instance, she might discuss willow bark and how the salicylic acid in it works in a way similar to aspirin for pain relief. It connects the dots.
That's really helpful. Now, thinking practically, if someone listening has, say, a specific issue right now, like maybe digestive trouble, is the book easy to navigate for that?
Yes, very much so. That's another really strong point, the organization.
How is it structured?
It's helpfully organized by ailment or health concerns. So yes, if you were dealing with the digestive complaints, you could flip right to that chapter.
Oh, brilliant.
And find the remedies she suggests specifically for those kinds of issues. It makes finding relevant information really efficient.
And what sorts of ailments does it cover? Is it a wide range?
Oh, yeah, a really good range of common things. Digestive issues, like we said, respiratory infections, various skin conditions, pain management strategies, even things like sleep disturbances.
Wow, so lots of everyday health challenges.
Absolutely. That structure makes it super user-friendly when you need a solution for something specific that's bothering you now.
Okay, that sounds incredibly useful. So say you've identified a plant. You know how to prepare it. What about actually keeping some of these remedies on hand, setting up your own little apothecary?
Yep, she guides you through that too, creating your own home apothecary.
What kind of advice does she give?
Really practical stuff. Suggestions for essential tools you don't need much, maybe some clean jars, drying racks if you're harvesting fresh herbs, basic measuring things.
Okay.
And she talks a lot about storage, how to store dried herbs or your preparations correctly to make sure they stay potent.
And is it like you need to build this huge thing immediately?
No, not at all. That's key. Her advice is very much start small.
Sensible.
Yeah, maybe pick a few herbs that address common issues in your household. Get comfortable with those. Then you can gradually build your collection as you learn more.
And presumably labeling is important?
Oh, hugely important. She really emphasizes that. Clear labels what it is, maybe when you made it, and proper storage, like cool, dark places usually. It's vital for keeping things effective and safe.
Right. Now, I heard the book isn't just like a technical manual. Dr. Apelian includes personal stories.
She does, and that really makes a difference, I think. It makes the whole thing much more engaging.
How so?
Well, she weaves in anecdotes from her own life, her own experiences with these plants and with herbal medicine. Yeah, it makes the information feel more human, more relatable.
Yeah, less like reading a textbook.
Exactly. It's like learning from someone who's actually lived it and is sharing their personal wisdom, not just facts.
That's great. And of course, the big one, safety. When you're talking about anything medicinal, safety's got to be paramount. How does she handle that?
Very thoroughly. This is absolutely critical, and she doesn't skimp on it.
Good.
She strongly underscores the importance of talking to your doctor or a qualified healthcare professional, especially if you have existing health conditions or if you are taking other medications.
Right, interactions and things.
Precisely. And she gives clear guidelines on dosages, how much to use, and for how long you should use a particular remedy. It's all about responsible self-care, informed choices.
So it's more about adding tools to your toolkit, maybe complementing conventional medicine, not necessarily replacing it wholesale.
That's exactly the sense you get. It's about empowering yourself with more options, a broader understanding of natural approaches, but always being smart and safe about it, consulting professionals when needed.
Okay. So when you boil it all down, what's the real core message of Forgotten Home Apothecary? What's the main thing listeners should take away?
The core message. I think it's really about empowerment through understanding. Understanding the basic principles of herbal medicine.
Okay.
And through that understanding, maybe developing a more intuitive connection with the plant world around us, recognizing the potential healing resources that are often right there.
And using them thoughtfully.
Yes, thoughtfully and knowledgeably. She also encourages tailoring things to your own needs. We're all different. Our bodies respond differently.
So it encourages a more holistic view of health.
I'd say so, yeah. It definitely champions a shift towards seeing health more holistically, incorporating natural approaches. It suggests that maybe answers to some health challenges are closer than we think in the natural world.
And it's about remembering something we've lost touch with.
Exactly. That's the forgotten part of the title, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's about remembering, reclaiming that wisdom, that connection to nature's power to heal, which maybe has faded a bit in modern life.
So wrapping up then, Forgotten Home Apothecary sounds like a really practical, insightful guide for anyone curious about understanding and using natural remedies.
Definitely.
It makes that idea that potent medicine can literally be within reach, maybe even in your backyard, feel actually possible, which is, well, pretty empowering.
It really is. And doing this deep dive, looking at her work, it just highlights how much knowledge and potential for self-reliance is out there if we just look at the natural world with fresh eyes, with a bit more curiosity.
Makes you think, doesn't it? Consider this. What common plant maybe something you usually pull out as a weed, could actually hold some surprising benefit you've never even imagined. Perhaps it's time to take a closer look at the natural world right outside your own door.